Hi, welcome back to my channel. Open the Door. Today is episode 16, Finding a Balance Between Our Light and Dark Sides. I was motivated to cover this topic based on a book that I've been reading called The Unfolding. And it's a collection of essays, short essays and poems, and some narrative by this woman, the author Ariel Estoria. I came across this passage and wanted to share it with you because I felt it relates pretty closely to this topic of balancing our light and dark. A friend came over one evening for dinner. I lit a candle, I vacuumed the carpet, fluffed the pillows, mopped the kitchen. The usual tidying, but I did not feel the need to hide unwanted pieces in the closets, mostly because they were mostly full to begin with. I did not tuck the dirty laundry into an unseen place. Instead, the pile sat where the pile sat. The corner clutter of my office stayed just as such, and what permission that is to not hide the unwanted pieces of who we are, to not tuck away under the bed the parts of us we find dirty, to let the clutter be clutter and know that we are still wholeheartedly and fully able to be embraced, loved, seen come out of hiding from under the bed, the pieces of you that were hiding, and come as you are, comes all that you are. Balancing our light and dark sides and finding a harmony between the two, that's going to be the key. That's the key this episode. Acknowledge and integrating these two aspects of ourselves without suppressing can really bring about a greater sense of well-being and a better way of just approaching life in general through our mental processes and our attitudes. So each of these sides of ourselves, our light and our dark, have specific traits or qualities associated with them, and I'll talk about that next. So the qualities of our inner lightness, the light of our inner being, would include these things: compassion, empathy, kindness, honesty, generosity, resilience, optimism, a sense of justice and fairness, all traits of our inner light being. Qualities of our dark side include things like this: selfishness, anger, greed, jealousy, impulsiveness, dishonesty, fear, and aggression. Every one of us has these traits, both these light and dark aspects of ourselves. And as I said, acknowledging these two sides and finding a balance is the first step. So for a lot of us, we've all had this happen where our dark side tends to take over for a while. It might be a day, a week, months, or even years. But when that happens, these type of behaviors and side effects can occur. So when the darkness takes over, it can lead to destructive behavior, negative thought patterns, consistent negative thought patterns, strained relationships, a decrease in our overall sense of well-being, becoming more selfish and self-centered, having what some of us consider blinders on, where we're just seeing straight ahead and not aware of what's going on around us, becoming aggressive, becoming dishonest, an increased level of stress, and deep feelings of guilt or shame associated when the dark overtakes the light. It's important to recognize when the dark becomes dominant and to take steps to regain balance and perspective, whether that be through self-care at home. And I'm going to talk about some of these steps in a minute. Or seeking support outside of ourselves. It's good to do a self-assessment and take a look at our thought patterns, our behaviors, and how is that affecting not just our view on life, but how we go about operating in our daily life with others as well. Which brings me to the next point. Sometimes it's not us who's caught up in the darkness. We might come across someone that we're close to, a family friend or associate who's dealing with a pretty dark side, caught in a dark cycle, let's say. So when you're dealing with a person who's operating from their dark side, it's essential for you to maintain boundaries, stay calm, and prioritize your well-being. Try to empathize with this individual, but without enabling their negative behavior. And this can be tricky, and it takes some practice. So doing the research and learning techniques, even wording of how to respond to someone in this type of situation. But there's some research and there's some ways that you can kind of take precautions ahead of time of how you're going to deal with that situation, especially if it's someone that you see on a regular basis and you know that you're going to be confronted with this, darkness that they're dealing with. So always seek support if needed. So to turn away from the dark and find the light, here's some tips and a little list of a variety of activities and approaches that you could try. Number one, self-awareness. So being aware, okay, but without judgment and without attaching to whatever the negativity and darkness it is that's creeping in, or be having to do with in a relationship or whatever. So identify and understand specific traits that need addressing. And through self-reflection, you can explore past experiences and start to look for patterns or identify traumas that may be contributing to these behaviors and or triggers of this of dark behaviors, thoughts, and patterns. Number 3 on my list is mindfulness. It's a pretty important aspect of the healing journey. So observing our thoughts, feelings, and actions in the present moment, as I said a minute ago, without attachment or judgment, but it helps us to become more aware of our impulses and our reactions, and hopefully we can get to a point once we've practiced enough mindfulness and self-awareness, we can get to a point where we are responding instead of reacting the majority of the time. Another approach to turning away from the dark and toward the light is emotional regulation. So this is developing healthy coping skills for managing difficult emotions like fear, anger, jealousy, and then using techniques to help calm the nervous system and the brain and the mind. Techniques like deep breathing, meditation, and always trying to practice the mindfulness will bring you back to the present moment, to pull you out of that negativity, hopefully. Another approach would be using empathy and compassion. So if you find that you're stuck in a lot of dark thought patterns and behaviors, but the core of yourself, your conscious is saying, I want to be a kind of loving person, then you need to actually implement that. Go out in public and practice how to be empathetic and compassionate, kind and understanding toward others and yourself. And recognize that everyone struggles with aspects of their dark side at any moment of any given day. So, if we're kind of going out into the world with that attitude of understanding and compassion and realizing that we are not the only ones struggling, it can really bring about a great level of empathy, which is a really good thing. Intentional actions, making conscious choices that align with our values and intentions. Look out, if your conscience is bothering you, and you're coming home from the day and you're sort of reliving some of the memories of the day, there's moments that are standing out, and if you find that your behaviors and words and actions are not aligning with your values and intentions, it might be a good time to do some self-reflection and journaling and write it down, get it out, keep it private. You don't worry about if someone else is going to read that. So seeking support, I'm always going to point that out at least a couple times each episode because it's that important. seek support from friends, family, or professionals to help and encourage you and give you valuable guidelines to work through this dark side and move toward the light. When you approach life from a place of love and light, it can bring on numerous benefits, including fulfillment, a sense of connection, and a purpose. It can also bring about inner peace, where we learn to embrace our qualities like compassion and empathy and kindness. It helps us build healthy relationships by cultivating these positive traits. It fosters relationships that are built on trust, respect, and understanding. Our personal growth increases when we choose to focus on optimism and resilience with a growth mindset that's encouraging us to develop and learn and improve each day of our life. When we approach life from a place of love and light, we reduce our stress, and it brings about an overall just sense of positivity and a grace that we carry not just for ourselves, but out into the world for others. By carrying this light in us, it's a contribution to others through our generosity and altruism, and it makes a positive impact on those around us. It increases our resilience by helping us draw on strengths like optimism and perseverance, and helps to whittle away at the negative aspects of our being by strengthening the positive aspects of our being. And aligning with our values and living from a place of light often, brings about a greater sense of integrity and authenticity and being true to oneself, which can bring about, a great sense of peace and satisfaction too. So it's not an easy topic to talk about because it's kind of obscure. It can mean different things for different people. Love, well, hopefully that means a lot of the same things, but light and darkness. Whatever comes to mind for you is your truth. Your what it is for you is what it is for you. So I want to thank you for joining me today. This is our lesson. I've got 2 more lined up, so I'll probably be getting those out within a few more days. I'll get another video out, and in the meantime I'll also record another sound bath. Hopefully to be able to help you draw out the light and come out of the darkness. So I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you soon. Take care.